Hi everyone, I'm Jessica Ripley, the Community Response Coordinator at Avalon Center. Thank you for joining me. April is Sexual Assault Awareness Month, so today I'm going to address drug facilitated sexual assault and what you can do to protect yourself. At the end of this presentation, there will be a survey linked below. If you wouldn't mind taking a couple of minutes to fill that out, we would truly appreciate your feedback. So before we begin, this presentation will contain material that addresses sensitive topics. I acknowledge that this content may be difficult, and I encourage you to take care of yourself in the best way that you see fit. To get started, I'd like to discuss the most recent data surrounding sexual violence. In 2018, there were over 734,000 sexual assaults. That's over 3 times the number of occurrences that were reported in 2007 at over 248,000 sexual assaults. So, in 10 years, that number has increased by over 500,000 incidents, which corresponds to an assault happening approximately every 68 seconds. 1 in 5 women and 1 in 14 men in the United States experience some form of sexual abuse during their lifetime. And it's important to note that the data on sexual violence against men may be underreported. 1 in 3 women, excuse me, and 1 in 4 men experience sexual assault before the age of 18. Approximately 86% of rapes have been committed by someone known to the victim. 34% of sexual assault and rape victims are under the age of 12. 55% of all rape and sexual assault incidents reported by survivors occurred at or near their home. And it is estimated that 75% of sexual assaults are not reported to the police. With that being said, sexual assault is the least likely violent crime to be reported to police. So, sexual violence refers to a specific constellation of crimes, including sexual harassment, sexual assault, and rape. The perpetrator may be a stranger, acquaintance, friend, family member, spouse, or intimate partner. Looking back, we discussed that approximately 86% of rapes have been committed by someone known to the victim, which completely debunks stranger rape as being more commonly carried out or widespread. Rape, according to Virginia law, includes engaging in sexual intercourse with a victim, whether or not his or her spouse, or causing a victim, whether or not his or her spouse, to engage in sexual intercourse with any other person, and such act is against the victim's will by force, threat, or intimidation of, or against the victim or another person, through the use of the victim's mental incapacity or physical helplessness, or with a child under the age of 13 years as the victim. Sexual assault, according to Virginia law, includes a wide range of victimizations separate from rape or attempted rape. These crimes include attacks or attempted attacks, generally involving unwanted sexual contact. Sexual assaults may or may not involve force and may include such things as grabbing or fondling. It can also include verbal threats. Drug-facilitated sexual assault involves the administration of an anesthesia-type drug to render a victim physically incapacitated or helpless and thus incapable of giving or withholding consent. Drug-facilitated sexual assault occurs when alcohol or drugs are used to compromise an individual's ability to consent to sexual activity. These substances make it easier for a perpetrator to commit sexual assault because they lower inhibitions, reduce a person's ability to resist, and can prevent them from remembering details of the assault. Drugs and alcohol can cause diminished capacity, a legal term that varies in definition from state to state. Diminished capacity exists when an individual does not have the capacity to consent. So, some reasons for this inability to consent may include sleeping, passing out, unconsciousness, or mental incapacitation. Virginia laws do recognize that if someone is drunk and or drugged, she or he is unable to give consent. And this means that if a person has sex with someone who is passed out or otherwise incapable of giving consent, it is considered sexual assault. So, some examples of what drug facilitated sexual assault looks like includes intentionally drugging someone, resulting in a situation in which it is easier to manipulate the circumstances and commit an assault, coercing or pressuring someone beyond their comfort zone to ingest more drugs or alcohol than they are comfortable with, ignoring or refusing to help someone who says they have had too much to drink or is having a negative drug experience and needs help, initiating sexual contact with someone because they are intoxicated and less likely to resist, and refusing to tell someone what is in their drink or the type of dosage of drug they are ingesting. Depending on the substance, the initial effects of a drug can either go unnoticed or become apparent very quickly. Being familiar with the warning signs can help alert you to the possibility of drugs in your system. If you notice any of the following warning signs in yourself or someone you know, reach out to someone you trust immediately. If you notice these symptoms in another person, you can take steps to keep that person safe. So, some signs that you may have been drugged include difficulty breathing, feeling drunk when you have consumed little to no alcohol, loss of bowel or bladder control, nausea, sudden body temperature change that could be signaled by sweating or chattering teeth, sudden increase in dizziness, disorientation, or blurred vision, or waking up with no memory or missing large portions of memories. So, alcohol is the most commonly used substance in drug facilitated sexual assault. Prescription drugs like sleep aids, anxiety medication, muscle relaxers, and tranquilizers may also be used by perpetrators. Street drugs like GHB, Rohypnol, Ecstasy, and Ketamine can be added to drinks without changing the color, flavor, or odor of the beverage. These drugs are sometimes used by a perpetrator as a tactic to facilitate sexual assault because they have sedative effects as well as the ability to impair memory. And the use of alcohol increases the effects of these drugs. So I'm going to do my best. If I pronounce this incorrectly, I apologize. But gamma hydroxybutyric acid, also known as GHB, is usually a liquid or a white powder that is dissolved in a liquid. It induces a sense of euphoria and intoxication and is abused for its central nervous system depressant effect. Some street names that it goes by are Easy Lay, Liquid Ecstasy, and Liquid X. Rohypnol was previously manufactured as a white tablet, but is now manufactured as an oblong olive green tablet with a speckled blue core that, when dissolved in a light colored drink, it will dye the liquid blue. However, generic versions of the drug may not contain the blue dye. Um, Rohypnol produces sedative, hypnotic, anti anxiety, and muscle relaxer effects. It is also misused to physically and psychologically incapacitate a person targeted for sexual assault. The drug is usually placed in the alcoholic drink of an unsuspecting victim to incapacitate them and prevent resistance to sexual assault. Rohypnol leaves the victim unaware of what has happened to them. And some street names are lunch money drug, roach, and the common roofie. So, ecstasy is mainly distributed in tablet form. These tablets are often sold with logos for users to seek out. Because of their colorful exterior, they are often hidden among colorful candies. Ecstasy is also distributed in capsules, powder, and liquid forms. Ecstasy causes changes in perception, including euphoria, and goes by the street names of Beans, MDMA, Peace, X, and XTC. So, ketamine comes in a clear liquid and a white or off white powder. It is a general anesthetic that causes individuals to feel detached from their bodies and surroundings. During an assault, a victim may be aware of what is happening but unable to move or fight back. Ketamine also may cause amnesia so that the victim does not remember the events that occurred, and is oftentimes combined with MDMA. It also goes by the names Kit Kat, Purple, and Special K. So, if you suspect you were drugged, you can take steps to preserve the evidence for an investigation. The best way to do this is to go to your local hospital to get a forensic exam and to get a blood test. Many of these drugs leave the body quickly, within 12 to 72 hours. If you can't get to a hospital immediately, save your urine in a clean, sealable container as soon as possible and place it in the refrigerator or freezer. Avalon does have advocates that can meet you at the hospital to provide you support. You can call our 24-hour helpline at 757 258 5051. And remember that it is not your fault. Many survivors have strong feelings of self blame after drug facilitated sexual assault. They may feel that their choice to drink or to use drugs put them in a dangerous situation that led to the assault. It is important to remember that if a sexual assault occurs under these circumstances, it is still not the survivor's fault. When they choose to do drugs or use alcohol, they are not choosing to be sexually assaulted. The blame for this crime falls only on the perpetrator. So, how can you protect yourself? Don't drink from a can or bottle that you didn't open yourself. Don't drink from a punch bowl. Don't drink from a container that's being passed around. Order your own drink. Don't accept a drink from someone else, especially someone that you don't know. Don't leave your drink unattended. If you realize your drink has been left unattended, disregard it and get a new drink. Don't drink anything that has an unusual taste or appearance. Create a safety plan between yourself and friends and call 911 if necessary. That's it for today. Again, thank you so much for joining me. I hope this information not only equips you with the tools necessary to protect yourself, but to also educate others and to be aware in social settings. Avalon's contact information is listed here. You can also find it on our website and social media pages. If you have any questions, please feel free to reach out. And as a friendly reminder, there is a link to a survey listed below.